हेलो जी, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। कैसे हैं आप सब? उम्मीद करता हूँ ठीक होंगे, खुश होंगे और खैरियत से होंगे। मैं हूँ आपका दोस्त मित्र सजन, मेरी पंजाब पाकिस्तान से। तो आज मैं एक नई रिएक्शन वीडियो के साथ साथ हूँ। आज की वीडियो बहुत ही मज़े की, बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है। आज की वीडियो के अंदर हम देखने वाले हैं इंडोनेशिया को, और चेक करेंगे कि जो इंडोनेशिया है उनका इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा जो है वो डेवलपमेंट की तरफ जा रहा है। वो क्यों जा रहा है, इसके पीछे क्या रीज़न है और क्या चक्कर है। तो कंप्लीट वीडियो को चेक करते हैं और वीडियो के बाद अपना ओपिनियन आप लोगों के साथ शेयर करूँगा, और चाहूँगा आप लोग भी अपना ओपिनियन मेरे साथ कमेंट बॉक्स में लाजमी शेयर करें। जो लोग मेरे चैनल पर नए हैं मैं उनको अपने चैनल पे वेलकम करता हूं और रिक्वेस्ट भी करता हूं कि मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब भी कर लें, साथ बेल आइकन को भी क्लिक कर लें ताकि हर लेटेस्ट वीडियो की अपडेट आपको मिलती है। और मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है आप लोगों को ये वीडियो बहुत अच्छी लगेगी, तो वीडियो को लाइक भी कर दीजिएगा। अभी चलते हैं जी वीडियो की तरफ, वीडियो को प्ले करते हैं। सो लेट्स प्ले द वीडियो।
Constructing world-class transportation systems such as railways, roads, and bridges, to social investments known to be healthcare, schools, and even projects that aim to promote the overall urbanization of Indonesia's cities. How did we get here? Well, it might be because of this guy, Joko Widodo, the current president of Indonesia, and a man who is trying his best to improve the overall civilization of the entire nation. And according to his government's targets, they are aiming to increase infrastructure spending by around 165 billion US dollars by 2025, which is more than double what it had done in 2014, the year he was sworn into office. These are helping Indonesia to be on track in becoming one of the global economic powerhouses around the world. So how did such an infrastructure dream come to be? And where are we seeing the greatest amount of growth? Before we move on, don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe for more. Back in 2014, when the current president, Joko Widodo, was sworn into office, he pledged to build out the entire nation of Indonesia, a plan that would cost over $350 billion within the next 5 years of his tenure. This comes as Indonesia was badly in need of infrastructure. According to the World Bank, Indonesia actually has to spend a lot more. An estimate according to their report recommends $1.5 trillion to sustain its gap from other emerging countries. Moreover, 4 years prior to Joko's tenure, the infrastructure spending of the land was only around $12 billion. But by 2019, this went up to over $35 billion. And as such, we have seen several of these mega projects being done across the country. From light rail transit and mass rapid transit systems, to thousands of kilometers of roads and bridges, to energy generating schemes, and even projects that aim to digitalize the entire nation, there have, however, been several challenges along the way during this term. A few years after his ambitious program started, only a few of the 245 projects were actually finished, and the majority of them were still under construction. Come the next election, Joko Widodo won his second term in office, for which he has sworn and doubled down on his ambitious goals for the entire country. This time, however, he wants Indonesia to become among the top 5 biggest economies around the world by 2045, and aims for the nation to have a nominal gross domestic product of over $7 trillion. And within the next 4 years, from 2020 to 2024, he and his government announced a further $400 billion infrastructure plan, and one of them will be the development of the upcoming new capital city. This infrastructure today are now playing a key role in advancing the nation's overall economy. The funding of these plans, on the other hand, has been sustained due to the help of both private and public entities. The first plan from 2015 to 2019 was funded through this graph. 50% came from the government and 31% from the private enterprises, while 19% which are state-owned enterprises. For the second plan, private enterprises will play a bigger role as the government enables the environment to be more investment-friendly. An example that this is already happening is the immense rush of international investments within the new capital city. So the future is on its path to becoming way better, way more connected, and a greater economy than what it was back 2 or 3 decades ago. The time when Indonesia was infamously known for its infrastructure crisis after several bottlenecks hit their roads, transit systems, and most importantly, its airport operating double its actual capacity. Thankfully, Indonesia has fought hard to increase its infrastructure spending and is now very much on track to become a global leader. But has it all really been rainbows and sunshine? Well, obviously no. These types of endeavors, especially huge ones, often come with quite a number of challenges. So far, the biggest we have ever
ऑफ इंडोनेशिया। तो यार ये थी सारी बातें जो इंडोनेशिया को डेवलपमेंट की तरफ लेके जा रही हैं। उन्हें अपना कैपिटल बना रहे हैं। कैपिटल का तो आपको पता ही है, जकार्ता को पहले उनका कैपिटल जकार्ता, अब उसको मूव कर रहे हैं नए कैपिटल, उसको बहुत ज़ोरों शोरों का काम जारी है और आने वाले दिनों में उसको वो लॉन्च करेंगे। 2045 तक इनका प्रोजेक्ट है। जकार्ता को टॉप 5 इंडस्ट्री बनाना चाह रहे हैं, जिसके अंदर जो है वो गवर्नमेंट अपना हिस्सा डाली है, पब्लिक और प्राइवेट सेक्टर को दोनों को मिला के काम कर रहे हैं। इसके अलावा वो मीट कर रहे हैं उसके ऊपर। तो कंप्लीट वीडियो कैसी लगी आप लोगों की क्या राय इस वीडियो के बारे में, कोई आप लोग ओपिनियन देना चाहते हैं कमेंट बॉक्स में यूज़ कर सकते हैं। वीडियो को लाइक कर लें, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लें। ऐसी लगी आप लोगों को वीडियो, उम्मीद करता हूँ अच्छी लगी होगी। आप लोगों की कोई राय हो इस वीडियो के बारे में तो कमेंट बॉक्स में लाजमी मेंशन कर दीजिएगा और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करिएगा। मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट अच्छी वीडियो में, तब तक अपना अपने आसपास वालों का ख्याल रखिएगा। खुदा हाफिज़।